Hey, what's up, everybody? I just want to jump on and run through some trades I took last week, some positions I'm still in, and then run through the watch list for this upcoming week. So obviously, Bitcoin was the talk of the town last week. I think everyone was pretty ready for this breakout. Um, we had this really nice move off the tariff sell-off, and then we had a multi-week flag where we just consolidated, let the moving averages catch up, and then we finally started to break out, and then last week we just took off. And I believe Bitcoin is still going right now, so just really strong momentum, pushing all-time highs. Obviously, I think, this is the first breakout out of the big consolidation, so we should get a flag here soon, let it chill out. It's getting extended from the moving averages, and that could be a really good setup for another leg, maybe coming into late summer and into the fall for some follow through. So something I'll definitely be watching. Also played this MSTR, obviously following Bitcoin, had this big macro trend line it broke out. I traded this a few times, traded it on this day, got stopped out, and I think I traded in here, made a little bit of money, then stopped when it broke back above, and then got back in on this day, which we had some really nice follow through. So now we're kind of back testing or running into some resistance here around 440. If we can push through that, then back above 450, and we could really start seeing some momentum out of this. But yeah, obviously following Bitcoin, really nice move, capitalized well on this one, and so I'm going to keep it on watch and see how that sets up over the coming weeks as well. Some other ones we traded, this INOD, traded this a few times, absolute pain in the ass. What I really liked about this one is obviously I had a high short interest, and the weekly looked really good, just high and tight, sitting on the MAs against this level, and had a couple chances where it popped above and just failed, got stuffed. I think I tried it on maybe this day and then stopped it once it gapped down the next day, tried it on this day again, stopped out, and then this day I thought was the day it was going to start going. Broke above all the levels, had good volume, and then just obviously got stuffed pretty hard and closed back below. So I think I was like 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 on this. Happens, but I thought the look was good and was worth to keep trying. So that was INUD. Another one we took was this HTZ. Had a really nice push here, and it's been consolidating, and now we're starting to break out of that base. We got really tight here. This is really what you want to see. We have a nice momentum move here, some range expansion, then we get a pull back into the MAs, and we get really tight these last few days into this like wedge pattern here with higher lows. Had the nice breakout, was buying in the mid 7s, I believe, sold some into the 8s, and now we're kind of just back testing this level that it broke out through around 750. So we'll keep tabs. Hopefully it can hold above and consolidate and look to make another leg higher. That's kind of what I'll be looking for. Otherwise, I'll be using the low of this day as my stop, like right around 714. So a good look there. That was HTZ. I think that was pretty much it for... Oh, I traded Oklo on this little move here. I took a little bit, and it just wasn't getting followed through, and I got stuffed pretty hard. I think it was, yeah, it came back down and broke through low day, and I stopped out of it here. And then it kind of recovered. I still like it. It's just, it may need another catalyst. We had this huge cup and handle pattern, broke out, ultimately failed. And now we came in and put in this little pocket pivot down here, and I was thinking maybe if this thing wants to go again, we could get back above 60 and make another push higher. There is a lot of overhead on it now, so it may need a catalyst. So we'll have to keep tabs on it. But I did put out some alerts. Put out another one right here, and we'll see if we can get it going. This sector, the nuclear, you got to keep tabs on it. It's obviously a lot of tailwinds with this administration, and has had some really, really good moves. So I'll keep this on watch. So that was I think my last trade I took on Friday. The other one, oh, this one was awesome, UMAC. So if you remember last year, we had this huge run up on it with Trump Jr. news that he was joining the board. He has a significant position in the company. And then since then, it's just kind of chopped around. And then on Friday, or actually it was Thursday night, Hegseth came out and was talking about prioritizing drones and got that whole sector running. But I liked UMAC the most, mainly because of the Trump Jr. Being on board with it. Obviously, it probably plays into helping them get more government contracts and stuff, as well as having a decent short interest at 14%. And this was honestly on my radar even before, just with this setup. It wasn't the cleanest move higher, but we did make a push higher, and then we got this really nice tight wedge pattern sitting on the MAs, and then we got the catalyst that came in, which was really nice to kind of ignite this move. I did buy some the night the news came out, and then the following morning I added some more through the opening range highs, and I trimmed into the high 11s, into the 12s, and so I still have, I think, about a half a position on it, looking really good. Ton of volume came in. This thing can really get going. So if this can hold in there and wants to start pushing and breaks 13, I'll add to my position. Otherwise, I'm going to be using the low of this breakout day as my stop. So hopefully this can hang in there and set up maybe a couple tight inside days right below this level, push through. That would look really good. So definitely want to keep tabs on. This could be a good mover. Especially if we start getting more headlines out on drones out of the government and stuff. So that's UMAC. Great trade so far. All right, so that was pretty much my trades last week. I'm going to jump into some of the names, kind of keeping tabs on for this week. Obviously, Apple been a major laggard in the Mag 7. We did have this really nice breakout, had a really tight wedge pattern here. You can see we had about a week of just really tight inside days. We finally broke out when they had news about using someone else's AI. It's kind of funny that just, they're so far behind in the AI scene that the stock's getting bought up when they're starting to use someone else's. So anyways, we had the nice breakout, good volume, about a 4 or 5 day follow through. Now we're pulling back and getting tight. So this is really the first leg out of the breakout. I want to see maybe a few more days of consolidation, sideways action, and if we can get something like that to break out of, I'd be looking to take this for another leg higher for another swing trade. So that's Apple. Be watching that. Went over Hertz, went over UMAC, MSTR, went over those. MU is another one I'm watching. This one broke out of a big base here from the last year or so, and just had a really nice trend, and we're getting tight again. So I want to keep tabs on this. The only concern I have with this one is we're kind of pretty extended from the MAs on the weeklies. So this may need some more time or maybe a deeper pull. But either way, it's on my radar. If it does start to go, I'll put some risk on just in case it doesn't want to pull back and wants to make another leg higher. So I do have my alerts out for that. But just another name I'll be watching, see if it can hold and make another push. JMIA, I like this a lot too. We had this is a former runner back in the day too. We've had huge runs in this name. And we're starting to get a little momentum in it. There's been a lot of small caps just going parabolic lately, so just trying to keep tabs on all of these. This had a really nice clean move, and we've been consolidating, getting tighter, putting in higher lows. If this starts to break out of this range, I'll definitely be buying some. So I got some alerts just above if it wants to get going. So JMIA looks really good. Ethereum, I'm not interested in buying right at this moment, but obviously it's waking up with Bitcoin. I'll be watching this for pullback and getting tight as well. So this obviously needs more time, but just want to keep tabs on it. RMNI is another really good look. We're breaking out of a huge, base over the last few years on really good volume. There's news about they were settling with Oracle and had a ton of volume come in, broke out, and then we had this tighter inside day now. So what I'd like to see, if this is, if this wants to do what a lot of the small caps have been doing lately, breaking out of this inside day has been a good buy for another leg higher. So I got an alert out for that if that wants to happen. Otherwise, maybe a couple more tight inside days set up, get the MAs to catch up to it, and then see if that can push it higher. But I really like this setup. Got a nice news catalyst on it, and I could see this one getting another leg higher. So this will be another name I'm watching for this week. Nike, this was a big earnings for them. They've been very out of favor, huge down moves, just trending lower, grinding. And on this earnings, they beat, and then they had a really nice raised guidance. Obviously, you can tell in the price action that the markets have been liking it. So we got this little follow through leg, and now we're kind of pulling in, back testing the MAs. I want to see this get a little bit tighter over the coming days and let the 20-day catch up, and this would be something I'd like to play. We could definitely see some more post earnings drift on this, just given how beat down this name is. This is like a good change in the theme earnings, right? Like we've just been beat down. They've been really out of favor, negative headlines, especially with the tariffs. And so now we're getting more positive info out of that, and plus this earnings, it's good lead for a nice run into the end of the year. So we'll be keeping tabs on Nike as well. But I think my main focuses will be UMAC, getting more size on that. I think that has a really good chance to make another run. And JMIA I really like, and RMNI is another play I really like as far as swings go. Looking at a couple parabolic names, there's been a ton of crazy runners. Starting with this Newegg, this is just a massive move with huge price expansion. Really overbought. I think the RSI is in the 90s. Yeah, 90, almost 92. Accompany that with this huge range expansion, really setting up well for a reversal. Ideally, I'd like to see this gap up coming into tomorrow for potential short, so I'll be watching this. I'll also be watching this. INKT had an insane move on Friday. It might not be the easiest short. It's day one. We'll see how it plays. I believe it's sold off into the post market. Yeah, so it's already coming in quite a bit. I mean, there's obviously still a lot of downside, but this is trading down the 50s. So we'll see where it sets up for tomorrow. Opening in mid-range of this candle is not as attractive as if it was gapping up higher into this candle or even above it. But I do want to keep tabs on it because there is a ton of downside in this still, even if it does open up around 50. So I'll be watching this INKT. This was a really good. This would have been a really good long, actually, too. I had the breakout here with big volume and then a couple of tight inside days, and then it broke out on Friday. This is kind of the look, I was looking at with RMNI. So we'll see. This was a huge range expansion, parabolic. Obviously, we got 96 RSI. This sets up well for reversal, in my opinion. And like the other ones, a gap higher sets up even better. But we'll see, if we can get that or not. Either way, I think this has a lot of downside, parabolic move. So I'll definitely keep keeping tabs on this coming into Monday tomorrow. But yeah, just got to keep track on small caps right now. There's been so many big movers, both long and short-sided on them. Like this BMNR, insane move. Just tons of stuff like this going on right now. A lot of money to be made in them. So just got to keep your head on a swivel. Keep running your scans every night and updating your watch list, and be prepared for when they either break out or roll over. All right, so that's what I'm looking for this week, and I will check back in later in the week, let you know how things have progressed and any trades that I have taken. All right, guys, take it easy.